In this video, we're going to show you the best music promotion tips for 2021. Hi guys, my name is Des from the Music Marketing Academy. If you're looking to market you, your band or your brand in this fast growing music industry, then you've definitely come to the right place. So guys, what I'm going to do is going to do a quick presentation and then we're going to have a chat with a few musicians afterwards. So I'm just going to share my screen and do a little bit of a presentation. So guys, how are you actually going to market your music in 2021? So I'm going to give you some tips here. I'm going to be a quick fire tips just to see what you think. We're going to take some comments later in the live stream and hopefully get a bit of conversation going up as well. So just making sure my screen is actually showing and everything's fine. So guys, what do we do in 2021? Before we get into that, I'm just going to say that there's a bonus coming up if you watch to the very end. I've got about 4 or 5 tips to give you for promoting your music in 2021. But if you stay to the very end, I'll give you a nice little bonus tip that I don't see many people doing. So I try to do this every week just to encourage people to stay around and stick around for the actual conversation afterwards. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to promote your music in 2021 is you need to find out who your fans are, guys. I'm just going to put this on full screen. Who are your fans in 2021? So you need to find out who's engaging with your content at the moment, all right? So at the moment, you've got lots of followers. You don't really know who are your fans and who are your followers. So what you need to do, guys, you need to basically put them onto a separate list. Now, if you're doing this on Twitter, for example, it's quite easy to actually separate them because all you need to do is set up a separate Twitter list. So what you do is on Twitter, anybody that engages on one of your tweets, you literally just put them into a separate list, and then obviously when you actually come back onto Twitter, you can then start engaging with them. On Instagram, it's a little bit different. Again, if you get people that are engaging on your tweets, you need to put them into a separate list, all right? Now, there's one thing speaking to your followers, and that's totally fine. But the guys that actually engage with you and say they like your music, you need to separate them so you know who your fans are and you know who your followers are. It's so important to do this. And the reason why it's so important to do this is because it allows you to actually focus all of your effort, the vast majority of your time, just speaking to them. Well, not just speaking to them, but the vast majority of your time, I'd say a good 80 or 90% of your time speaking to the fans, the ones that actually engage with you on social media, all right? It's so important to do that. Again, in last week's live stream, I showed you that you can actually use the Twitter video feature. So you can literally just, if you're using Twitter, if somebody comments on one of your tweets and it's a music video or it's a music snippet, you can literally just go into your actual phone, click on the tweet when you're going to reply to them, and then you can actually basically just leave a message, which is a little bit more personal as well, guys. All right. So the next thing we need to do is, before we get onto that, if you're interested in the music launch checklist that we have, send me a DM and I can actually send you a checklist of how to actually launch your music. All right. But the next thing we need to do, guys, we need to market to our existing fans. I'm just going to put this on full screen again. Now, when I say market to your existing fans, what I really do mean is you need to focus on gaining new fans, but you also need to focus on your previous fans, right? These guys are really important. These guys are like gold. These are guys who have basically streamed your music before, they've engaged with you. You basically need to interact with them. You need to market to them. And if the launch checklist that I showed you earlier, if you use a checklist, and it doesn't need to be my one, but if you use a checklist, there's no reason why you can't actually have a great process of when you do a pre-launch, when you launch, and then when you do a post-launch. There's no reason why you can't have all of that together. I'm just going to put myself back on the screen again as well. So there's no reason why you can't do that when you're marketing to your existing fans. You can also keep in touch with them via social media as well, guys. Now, look, one of the best ways to do that is by either Facebook or email. And obviously, anybody that's watched any of my videos for any length of time, you know that I love email. So, guys, getting new fans is great, but marketing to your existing fans is really important, all right? So next thing on the list is, if you like what you're seeing so far, I'd ask you to comment and leave a comment below. If you've got any questions that what I've done so far, or if you've got a question later on, please leave a comment. I'm more than happy to actually answer your comments on this, all right, guys? So the next thing we need to talk about is promoting your music hard after your release. Now, what a lot of people do, I'm just going to put it back on full screen. What a lot of people do is they try so hard to market their music before they launch, but what they do is they forget that a lot of their clients, a lot of their fans don't actually see any of your tweets, don't actually see any of your posts on social media before you launch. So on launch day, you launch, and there are quite a lot of your fans that don't actually see a lot of your promotion that's gone out. So you need to ask your fans for comment on reviews. If you have email, and I was going to put myself back on screen again as well. So if you have email, for example, it's really good to email your fans just to let them know that the track is actually out. And also to, if you've actually had any interviews on blog posts, if you've had any podcasts where you've done an interview with anybody, you want your fans to go back over to those places. So you'll leave a link in social media and you'll ask them to actually leave a comment on there. It just basically gives you a little bit more momentum after you've actually finished launching your track. So again, I know a lot of you put so much time and effort into marketing yourselves up until launch day, but there's so much that can be done after you actually launch the track as well. And this is actually a good time. And again, it's in that music launch checklist that I showed you earlier. This is a really good time to post content when you're in the studio, all the behind the scenes stuff. This is a great way to actually promote and market your music in 2020-21, right? If you do this, you'll have a lot more success than if you just launch a track and then just stop promoting it at all. Guys, the promotion goes well after the track is actually out. You have to promote your music. You have to ask your fans to actually vote on certain things. You need to actually get them to actually engage with you after your track is out. Ask them what they think about it. Ask them for reviews. Ask them what they in what way you could actually improve your track, for example. That might not be for everybody, but it's definitely something you can do to actually keep the momentum that you've actually built up until launch day. I also say that you should also schedule your promo content to go out after release as well. So a lot of the times, I'm going to put myself a little bit behind on screen. A lot of the times what happens is, if you don't, after you've actually launched a track, you need just get my words out correctly. So sorry about this, guys, just making sure my notes are correct. So yeah, I'm basically saying schedule your promo content to go out after release. So what a lot of you do is you basically post content on the fly, but what you should really be doing is actually scheduling your content to go out afterwards. And when I say scheduling it, I'm saying using scheduling tools like Hootsuite, like Buffer. If you're going to post content on Twitter, you can use TweetDeck. But you literally, before you actually launch the track, before launch day, make sure you schedule content to go out afterwards. That way you're not having to remember what you're doing after launch. All right, so that's really, really, really important. So the next thing you need to do, and I've put on here, is rinse the social media channels. I don't know if you understand what I mean by this, but one thing that's really, really important is you need to find out where your fans are. Whether they're on Twitter, whether they're on Facebook, whether they're on TikTok, whether they're on Instagram, you need to know where they are, because once you know where they are, you can literally post as much content as you can to those channels, all right? I know a lot of you are trying to post to lots of different social channels at the moment, which is fantastic, but once you actually know exactly where your fans are, because not all your fans are going to be on Instagram, not all of them will be on Facebook, you might have a lot of them on one social media platform, and it's really, really important that you focus down on that platform. All right, this is going to be hard if you've got different genres of music. I'm not going to lie to you. If you've just got one genre of music, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do this. But if you've got several genres of music, it's going to be really, really hard to do this. Also, as well, what a lot of you forget to do is actually ask your peers to comment on your tracks as well after you've actually launched the track. When I say rinse social media, if, say, for example, they've had a track out previously and you help promote that, say, for example, on Twitter, you basically retweet a lot of their comment. And if you're on Instagram, you basically repost a lot of their content. What you're kind of hoping to do is you're wanting them to actually reciprocate and do the same thing with your content as well. So again, this comes down to having a decent strategy when you're going for pre-launch, when you're going to launch, and when you go to post-launch. It's so important that you write this down or have the checklist like I mentioned before. Again, if you haven't got it, send me a DM, or it's down in a link. If you're in YouTube, there's a link down below in the actual description. But it's really, really important that as part of your launch, you basically tap up all the actual musicians that you basically talk with, you engage with on a regular basis. It's really important that you actually get them to help you promote it after you've actually launched the track as well. All right. Also, will say as well, guys, when I say about social media, don't try and treat it like it's your own social media platform. All right. If anything, have a separate social media platform. There's no reason why there's no reason why you can't have two social media platforms. But if you're going to have one for your music, that needs to be solely focused on promoting your music, promoting other musicians, and really engaging, getting lots of collaborations. It's really, really important to do that, because if you don't, you're not really maximizing what you can do on social media. So what's the next thing on the presentation we're going to talk about? Again, this is the bonus section. So this is the last section of the presentation, and then we're going to go through some Q&As. I'm going to speak to some of the people that are actually on the actual live stream at the moment. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to document the process. All right. Again, this goes down to a lot of what's going on with social media at the moment. A lot of you come onto actual social media, you send me a DM, and you really don't know how to market your music. All right. You don't know what to post on social media. What I would actually recommend is you document exactly what you do. So from the time that you start actually launching your track, or it's not launching your track, but the time you're actually in the studio, I'm trying to get my words out, by the time you get into the studio, you need to document that. And I don't mean just writing it down. I mean actually going on social media and telling your fans exactly what you're doing at that moment. It's so important, all right? Every step of the way, you need to be documenting it. And when I say documenting it, telling your fans what you're doing. And it means, even if you're a bit shy, try and get over your shyness and just pick up your phone and actually talk to them on a daily basis. Now, on Instagram, you can do that with Instagram stories. And on Twitter, they've brought out a new feature called Twitter Fleets, which you can do on Twitter as well. So there's nothing stopping you. But every step of the way, you need to be documenting your process, because the reason why I recommend doing this is there's so many of you that don't know to post on social media. And if you just do this simple element within the launch process, you'll have lots of content to post to them. But guys, this is what separates you from all the other musicians out there, is actually documenting your process and showing people the real you. All right. So that'd be my recommendation. I'm trying to keep this short. I put a poll out the other week, and a lot of people said they don't really want to watch a long live stream. So I'll try to shorten it down as much as I can this week, because I do realize a lot of you got things to do and you don't want to watch a long live stream. So I've kept it as short as I possibly can. But the documentation process is so important to when you're actually launching a track. All right, I don't see many of you doing this, and it'd be really nice to see more of you doing this. It means that you're not stuck for content to post on social media, which so many of you are at the moment. So I'm just going to take a few comments on the live stream. We've got Jamie. Cool, I'll be joining. I have to go at 3 p.m. No problem, Jamie. Thanks for coming to the live stream. November Sound early in the AM. That's great, guys. Nice to see you here. Jap, you're speaking in the week. Good to see you, mate. Thank you so much. Ant Architecture, get that words out. Hello. Yeah, good to see you. Lawrence, good morning from Florida. Good to see you. We've got Jap again. What's the best one? I have Hootsuite and Crowdfire. In my honest opinion, Jap, I would say Hootsuite. I personally use Hootsuite. I don't know a lot about Crowdfire, if I'm being very, very honest with you. But in my personal opinion, having a large platform that you're using for scheduling, for example, would be the best bet. I think Crowdfire is a little bit smaller. And Jamie, most of my fans are on Twitter. That's great. So basically what it is, Jamie, if most of your fans are on Twitter, your whole launch process, even though you can actually post on the other social media platforms, the vast majority of your focus needs to go on Twitter, if most of your fans are on Twitter. Got music by SV. I create an Asana board of all the actions of my music, like business projects, keep on track. I tweet my progress like crazy. Good to hear. Fantastic. But guys, the bonus that I gave you is basically the documenting the process. It's so important to do that. If you're stuck and you don't really know what to post, just document what you're doing on social media, and your fans will absolutely love it. And to be honest with you, if you haven't got the checklist, download it from the description below. It will actually help you to actually post content. All right, so you shouldn't have a problem with this. So I've got a few little guests, as you can see on the live stream. I've got Nunny here, and I've got Peter as well. You all right, guys?
All right, guys.
How's it going? All right.
Good, man. Good.
Good, good, good. So, Nani, you've got a track out at the moment. How have you got on with the actual launch process in 2021?
Brilliant. The track just dropped yesterday, and it felt like it's taken forever because basically started the process at the start of January.
Okay.
And it's just been sort of trickling out at first, but building that up as people started to show interest and start asking about it, and
Sure.
then really pushing, towards the release day. The last week's been crazy. It honestly feels like that's all I've been doing, and
Sure.
you worry that you're going to start stressing people out because you're constantly posting about this song. But when you see the amount of stuff people are seeing on their feed anyway, you know what I mean? It's you're trying to separate your track from all the noise that's out there, and as you would say, sort of get eyes on it,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Peter, what are you doing in 2021? Are you doing anything different than you were doing in 2020? Can you hear me, Peter?
Yeah, we're going 4-piece, so it's can you hear me?
I can. The audio's not very good though.
No, the connection's had it. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear us?
No, it's I'm sorry, I'm talking that good.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you maybe want to log off and then log back on, and we can have a chat. So we've got, I'm just going to take you off the stream, yeah? So we've got Jamie saying, Nani, I feel you, it's been extremely the same for me. So Nani, obviously you've gone through a launch process at the moment. Have you actually got a post-launch ready as well? Are you doing stuff after you've launched the track as well? How are you promoting it at the moment?
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few things, like you're saying about the actual process. I've had quite a few people over the past few weeks. I've had quite a few people just asking in general, sort of wee points and sort of tips about how you go about doing certain things. And so, like you were saying about making a video, sort of just showing. I mean, I've got, it's a small humble setup. It's not $1 million studio I'm recording in, but it's just to show the process that I do. It works for me, and it's just one of them. Just to show everybody what's capable, a small bit of technology, couple of musical instruments, It's.
And is your studio? Are you recording in a proper studio, or are you recording everything at home?
No, it's a home studio, home setup.
Okay, so could you position your phone in the corner and just film yourself producing? Is it something you could do?
Aye, pretty much. I'll set something up for it, because it's just one. I love it when you see other musicians. They give you a quick tour of their setup. Because I know one of my mates, he's just daft on guitars. He could tell you what year a guitar was made and how much it costs, that kind of thing, which is great. I'm not. I like my guitars, but I'm not into them that way. But I do love it when you get the camera pans round and somebody's, if they've got a massive mixing desk, or just to see the software they're using. Because I watched since I came back into making music, things have changed drastically. Nowadays, pretty much everybody's recording in the box. Whereas when I left music, it was just starting to go that way. It was a combination of you're using the mixing desks,
sure.
And eventually it was going into a PC, but it was kind of best of both worlds. Whereas nowadays, I mean, I know people making full songs on just their phone, nothing else. It's amazing.
And I notice as well, you post on Twitter, Instagram. Do you post your content on Facebook as well?
I do. Yeah.
So the content you post on Instagram, is it the same as what you post on Facebook?
Pretty much. It's very similar. So if I've made any sort of short video clips or stuff, I'll try and get around to posting them all across all social medias. I'm mainly focused on Twitter, but pretty much the stuff that goes on Instagram will be what lands on Facebook as well.
Okay, fair enough. No worries. And what do you? I mean, if we go back through the presentation just very, very quickly, I mentioned. Let's go back to the very, very beginning. I mentioned about marketing to existing fans. I know the answer to this question already, but how are you doing? Or are you doing that at the moment?
Yeah, no, definitely. Because you find, I mean, you said these people are gold. They've already bought your previous releases. They're already hooked. You're not trying to sell the idea to them. No, these people enjoy what you do. I mean, if you've got these people already, these are the people you need to target, because some of these people, without even hearing your new song, will buy it. They'll buy it straight away. You know, they'll order your CD, whatever format you've released, they're on board. You know, merchandise, everything. These are the people. It's like super fans almost. You know, and they're the people. Again, they're posting the content that you've put up. They're posting it and then adding their own twist to it. You know, and it's going out to all their followers, all these people that you potentially couldn't reach before. So these people are priceless.
Absolutely. And you're obviously you're using ConvertKit, which obviously I recommended, which I appreciate you doing that. You're sending a weekly update each week as well, aren't you?
Pretty much. There's enough stuff going on. I mean, I've got enough stuff going on. I could probably do a daily update, but obviously you're gonna sicken people off. They don't need to know every ins and outs of what's happening. So I kind of try and keep it to what's most relevant at the time. So once or twice a week. And I understand, not if they'll check their emails in time that the next one's went out, and that's fine, but it's still there in their inbox when they do check it.
Okay, cool.
It's definitely the way forward.
And are you looking at your statistics as well in ConvertKit? Are you looking at the stats of how many people opened it, how many people clicked on it? Is that sort of thing you look at as well, or you're not bothered?
I do. It's not something I don't get hung up on it, but you can see depending on what the content is I've sent an email, you can see what gets more response than others, which is absolutely fine, because some of the stuff's directly from what I'm doing musically. So if it's something Voldo related, it tends to get a lot more engagement than, say, it's just something else I'm involved with and I'm just letting people know about it, which I totally understand because they're signing up because of the Voldo project. So I totally understand that. But I don't get hung up in the stats on it. It's just one of them. They're on the list. I keep emailing them, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And what else did I go through in the presentation? I talked about promoting your track hard after release. I think we mentioned that already. But rinsing the social media channels, again, which ones are you using? Are you just mainly using Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as your main channels?
Yeah. I've had quite a lot of my mates saying, "Oh, you've got to jump on TikTok. It's brilliant. It's a scream. It's a lot." And I totally get it. Some of the content they've showed me, it looks like a great platform. I've not took that leap yet. I've got enough going on without something else added to. That's all it is. And it's working for them. They're getting great results. You know, it's like they're saying, the same video I've posted on Twitter. You know, it's maybe got a couple of hundred views, but I've put it in TikTok and it's into the thousands. You know, and that's fantastic. It's just it's a platform I've not tried, but you're right. You need to rinse them because you're reaching totally different audiences.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to take a few more comments. Philip, hello, sorry, I'm just joining. Philip, I don't know if I sent you a link to actually join, mate. If you want to join the discussion, if you can join within the next 5 or 10 minutes, leave a comment down below and we'll include you in. Jamie, I'm trying to post different things on different platforms. Jamie, again, if you wanted to come on this live stream, because you join us every week, I'll probably be on for another 10 minutes. If you want to join the live stream, let us know in the comments and obviously I can include you in if you want to join, that is. Peter, the internet is a bit stuffed tonight. No problem at all. I can completely understand that. And then Ant Architecture, for post-launch, I took some photos in the studio, made everything on this project, so I dressed it up in different outfits. And are going to put together some fun photos of me as a producer, engineer, and artist. Mate, that's fantastic. I'd love to see that. That's really good. And then Jamie, I'll join. Okay, Jamie, just give me 1 minute. So, Nunny, I'm just going to try and find this link for Jamie. Again, can you just go on? How have you found the actual launch process then? Because is this your first launch, or have you launched before?
No, I've launched quite a few tracks, but the approach to this was totally different because I've got a terrible habit, probably like most musicians. You give yourself about 2 weeks, no, from you get the song mixed and mastered, and you think 2 weeks is enough. I can knock this out, which is fine. You can put the song out, but making people aware of it in 2 weeks is pretty hard to do. And even when the other songs we brought out, just due to the type of account we had when we first started, we didn't have a pre-save option or anything like that.
Okay.
So you were literally dropping the track and then almost hoping for the best. You could send out a few emails and stuff, but it's a messy process. Whereas giving yourself, I mean, that was since the start of January, so it was just short of 5 weeks really we had to get this ready, and it was just much better time management wise and getting in touch with people.
Because I must admit, your launch process this time round has been so much better than the way I saw it before.
Yeah.
What have you changed then? What have you added in that?
The main one is pretty much focusing on the one thing, because I've dropped tracks in the past, but I've had it clashing with other material I've been involved in, and it's hard to promote your own stuff as well as promoting a collaboration track you're on, and hoping the dates don't clash as well, because you're bombarding people saying, pre-save my song or listen to my song, it's out today, and then you're also hitting them with almost the exact same spiel for another track you're involved with.
Sure.
And it's just been more organised, I suppose.
Okay.
And as well as I got in contact with you a while ago. I got your checklist. Everything on your checklist is pretty much what we're doing anyway.
Fantastic.
But it's having it in front of you is different instead of going, hang on, did I get in touch with them or have I sent it? So having a wee list where you can just tick the box, brilliant. It just makes it much easier.
And we've got Philip on the line as well, so you know Philip very well.
Yeah. All right, man.
You guys have done a collab before as well, haven't you, on a previous track, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Philip, thanks for joining, mate. What are you doing differently in 2021 that you were different doing in 2020? How have things changed for your music, mate?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for bringing me on today.
That's okay. I forgot to send you the link, so no problem.
All right, no problem. So there's so many things I've done differently this 2021 that I wasn't actually doing last year. First thing first, Twitter engagements. I wasn't really doing much last year, but not until September, August, around that period, then I keep engaging and my followers keep on increasing. And so that is that about the Twitter. And musically, I've been doing a lot of things differently this year that I wasn't really doing last year.
Okay.
Thanks to you, thanks to Nolly and some other artists, I've been able to do some collaboration at the end of last year, which I wasn't really doing early last year.
Sure.
So hopefully early this year, I'll be doing collaboration also. So
okay.
I think I'm still having a collaboration with Nolly and other artists like that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. This is one of the things I think it was on my original list, but I don't know why I didn't include it. I think I just wanted to try and keep this short. But collaborations are huge, and obviously you guys know this. But what you're doing is, and you guys know this already, by collaborating with another musician, another artist, you're basically sharing each other's fan bases. Because
for real,
Philip, a lot of your fans never knew of Nunny, and Nunny, a lot of your fans never knew of Philip. And even if you include another person in the mix, you're all sharing that track on social media. Everybody's seeing it. And in essence, you're basically just sharing each other's fan base. Now, look, we're not expecting every one of Nunny's fan base to obviously come over to you, Philip, and start following you. But even if it's just a small percentage, that's a lot more than you had before. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry.
So is that what you found then? Have you? I suppose it's really hard to actually figure out how many fans you've actually got. But I mean, how have you found the actual collaboration process? Have you found it quite good for your own brand? I suppose I'll speak to Philip first, and then we'll come to you, Dave.
Yeah, it's actually very good and very nice. Collaboration is a good thing, and it has actually expand my brand, my followers. You know what I'm saying? So for now, I think I have some listeners from, like, some followers, some fans of Nolly now is actually listening to some of my projects. Some of my fans also is listening to Nolly's project, because I and Nolly, we are very, very close. Like we share our music on Facebook. We engage ourselves on Facebook, on Instagram. So some of my fans have been able to, get to know Nolly better, and some of Nolly fans also, they've got to know me. And this only happens as a result of collaboration.
Sure.
Without collaborating, stuff like this might never have happened.
Absolutely. And what about you? What about you, Dave?
I think pretty much just what everyone says, because I noticed definitely the likes of he shares a lot of my stuff that I put out on Facebook, and vice versa, and it's it's for the different comments, and there's tons of people. I've had people private messaging me when we first put out the collaboration, and the first thing was, "Who's this guy? This guy's minted." It's like, how did you meet? If there's ever another collaboration, I want on it with him. And those people just coming out of the woodwork, and that's brilliant. That's fantastic to see. Because, like you say, it's just opening different avenues. It's people that have maybe followed my music, but then they've heard this collaboration track, and then it's just blew their mind, and they're like, "Oh, I need to hear more of this guy's stuff."
So, who instigated the collaboration then? Who got in contact with who?
Well, that's a tough one. I'm not actually. I don't know. I can remember sending a couple of beats, but I don't know. It was just one of them. I think we were just talking about stuff, and I think I just said I would send you a beat or something. I can't mind. I sent a few instrumentals a while ago. Everyone was just kind of, I like this one more than the other one, and I said to him, I've actually got something in mind. It was different because I think it was just 2 tracks I'd sent, and the third one I sent was the track we had in mind for the collaboration, which absolutely killed the track. So
sure, cool. I mean, if anybody's just joining anyway, you probably missed the actual presentation that I gave. I'll just quickly go back over it anyway. I'm just going to mute you two. You're still going to be in the stream, guys. I'm just going to mute your mics. All right.
All right.
So basically, what I was doing, guys, I basically was asking you to find out who your fans were, because that's one of the main things you need to do, is find out who your fans are. I don't even mean the guys that are actually streaming and downloading your music. I mean the ones that are actually engaging with you on social media, because the ones that are engaging with you on social media are different followers from the ones that aren't basically engaging with you. And one of the best ways to do that is really to set up either what we call a Twitter list, if you're using Twitter, and if you're using Instagram, it's called close friends, all right? But the guys that are actually engaging with you, you really do need to separate them, all right? We've got Dusty on the line as well. Just going to include you, Dusty, and we're going to talk to you in a minute, mate. We just add you to the stream. How you doing, mate? All right?
I'm doing well. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Fantastic. I'm just going to mute you, mate, and then we can have a quick chat in a minute.
No problem.
Fantastic. Thank you. You make my voice sound really high pitched when I hear you speak, Dusty. Anyway, next on the actual presentation, I basically was just saying to if you've got some sort of checklist. Obviously, I know the guys that are on the stream now use a launch checklist. This is something I really recommend that you do. All right, I'm not just trying to promote it for promotion's sake. It's so important to have a checklist so you don't forget anything along the way. So if you haven't got one, it's in the description of this video. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Periscope, if you're on Facebook, just send me a DM and I'll send you it. It's not a problem at all. The next thing was marketing to existing fans. It's really important if you've either got a Discord, if you've either got a Facebook group, and my preference would be email. If you've got existing fans that have downloaded your music and you've got them on email already, the next time you have a launch, it's so important to hit those guys up and just let them know exactly what you're doing. It's so important. All right. The next thing was that I went through the presentation is promoting your music hard after release. And I know Dave is doing this. I know Dusty is doing this. They're doing it fantastically well. But what most people do, or what most musicians do, is they put so much effort into actually launching the track. So before launch, and then on launch day, they send it out to all those different places. And then maybe a day or two afterwards, they just forget about it. You can't. You've literally, I believe you've probably got another week or 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks of promotion to go on that track. And if you're really smart, what you'll do is, if you've got another track lined up, as you're coming out of your last launch, you've basically got a new launch coming in. So your new track that you haven't finished yet, you should actually be talking about that track as you're coming out of your post-launch of your previous track. I don't know if Dusty's doing that. We're going to have a talk to him in a minute, but that is something that I really think you should do, because what it allows you to do is just keeps that story going, and it keeps your fans interested. But if you launch a track today and then you don't launch another track in another 3 or 4 months, some of these guys might actually forget who you are. All right. And the last bit of the presentation, I was basically just saying document the process as well. I'm not too sure how many of you are doing this, or even if you understand what I'm saying when I say document it, but it means every step of the way, whatever you're doing, whether you go to start writing the track, whether you're producing it, whether you're in the studio, the troubles you're having, if a piece of equipment's not working. Guys, these guys want to know all of that. They want to know everything about the actual process of actually making the track. And like I was suggesting to Philip and Dave before, it's really important to actually post content of your, behind the scenes content as well. So if you're in the studio, put your phone, if you haven't got a camera, just put your phone, stick up and press record. Just film an hour worth of production in the studio. And then what you can do, just cut it down into snippets, and you can show that after you've launched the track. So it's another piece of content that you can share on social media as well. And that was it, guys, really. So I'm just going to quickly bring Dustin into the conversation as well. Going to unmute you as well, and then unmute the other two. So Dusty, obviously you come a bit late, but I think you've been watching the presentation. How have you done things differently in 2021, or are you planning to do things differently in 2021 that you was doing in 2020?
I think the biggest thing was my preparation before the release. I gave myself a little bit of extra time. I tend to get really impatient when I have new content or when I have a new song. I'm like just amped to get it out there, but I think you really need to take your time and give your I ended up giving myself 3 more weeks than I thought I needed, and it gave me a lot of time to kind of tighten everything up. So when I did actually release and I crossed things off my list the morning of the release, I was like, okay, it's out there, it's good. I don't have anything to do now. I'm just gonna engage and respond and retweet and do all this stuff, and it just gives you time to focus on interaction.
Sure.
And I did that differently this time, and I think it's paid off. I had some goals that I didn't quite hit them, but it's tough to hit them these days without a massive budget.
I think we've been Twitter followers for a while, but I haven't really concentrated on what you've been doing. So I haven't seen what you were doing before to what you're doing now. But you're saying it's quite different now to what you're doing, what you were doing in 2020.
Definitely, especially with the addition of Twitter, because the last time I released a track was in January of 2020, and I didn't really start getting active on Twitter until around September of 2020. So I've met all the networking I've done on Twitter, and all the people that have supported me and that I've supported, and all that is just having that. It's like having another army, having another weapon in your arsenal. It's just it's been much different for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And great. I was talking to Dave and Philip as well about documenting the process. Is that something you've tried to incorporate into, or have you done it previously and you're going to start doing it now, or have you been doing it all this time? I don't really know, but if you could let us know if you've been documenting your process, that'd be fantastic.
I have been. I keep folders in my email, and I have, publicity, radio, anything that I'm finding success with, marketing people that I've met with, just anybody that I encounter that, that it's mutually beneficial for us to work together. I start documenting it. And I try to keep track of analytics while I'm doing releases to kind of figure out what's working and what's not, because I have a very limited budget. So I'm watching what type of ads do better or worse. So, the lower click-through rates, I'm just going to focus more of my budget on those ads because I'm getting more people.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I've been documenting it, and I feel really good about my process. Like this launch, for the first time I've ever launched music, I don't have anything that I regret. Or anything that I feel like I missed. I was like, I was actually prepared for this launch.
You know what I noticed with your launch as well, Dusty, and maybe a little bit of Dave's as well, but especially yours, Dusty, is I see a lot of musicians that are actually helping you promote it. So you've got a lot of people retweeting your content. Maybe you could speak to us a little bit about that, because that's not something I see a lot of. So I don't know if you've made a concerted effort to ask these people to promote it, but it seems like you've been getting a lot of that.
Yeah, I have a Facebook group that I started a few weeks ago that has been huge for me. I ask those people, you know, big tweets. I don't bother them with stuff. Most of the time I just make the group fun and we joke around. But when I have a launch or something, I ask everybody, hey, can you guys go retweet this for me? Sure. And when other musicians ask me to do that, I do that. So I think it's a lot because when I see people's stuff, I can't see everybody's stuff and watch everything all the time. None of us can. But if I see, you know, Nunny's stuff come across, I'll retweet it or I'll drop a comment on it. I'll do that engagement because ultimately I want people to do that for me. And for us to get the word out, we have to help each other tell the algorithm that people want to see this.
Absolutely.
So when we see each other, and I've been doing that and just been like genuinely trying to engage, and it's paid off. You know,
sure.
it's been really good, and it's been really organic and really, you know, there hasn't been any trash talking or any feeling like people are trying to take advantage of you or anything like that. You know, we all see the scammers coming from a mile away now. And we warn each other, you know, it's like, oh, red alert, stay away. You know, so it's been awesome. Yeah.
And Dave, what about you, mate? I noticed a lot of people have been retweeting your latest track as well. Have you basically hit them up as well and asked them to do that, or have they just been doing that naturally?
No, that's pretty much it's the goodwill of people. The majority are musicians, artists, and it's phenomenal, the type of response. Exactly what Dusty was saying. Because likewise, if I see somebody's material there and I know, that's just dropped, I'll always do. I mean, people that genuinely know me know I'll sit and check out your music. I'll not just retweet it and kid on, oh, that's a great song. I will genuinely listen to your track, give you some sort of feedback, and I'll share it because the algorithm does need to know that. You know, I mean, you want people need to check it. I think I tagged you on it last night, Des. It was one of the party bus. It's like a follow train type thing. You ask somebody to check out your track. You get a new song that's dropped. Let me hear your latest track. It doesn't have to be just dropped, just your newest song, and then tag a few other artists. And the momentum just keeps going with that. I woke up this morning though with hundreds and hundreds of notifications on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but my full night last night was fantastic. All I listened to was indie artists, and I would say about 90% of them I hadn't heard before. So I'm getting tons of new music. I don't have to look for it. It's just ping, get an alert, check out the track, and there's stuff that's absolute dynamite. You get an odd person, it's a waste of time. You know, it's like you're a scammer if you want. You know, pay me this and I'll play your stuff. I'm not interested in people like that. You're looking for genuine artists.
Sure.
And I'll take whatever it is, you know, 3.5 minutes to listen to their song, give them some sort of comment and share it. That's not a problem. That's what it's all about. You've got to help each other.
Absolutely. I've just got Jamie on the stream as well. Jamie, we're going to come to you. I'm just going to ask one more question of David, if that's okay. So Dave, there's a female on the track at the moment, isn't there? Your latest track.
Yeah.
How did you get a collaboration with her, or how did she get a collaboration with you? How did that work? And then we'll speak to Jamie.
She's part of the band, so always has been.
Okay.
Amanda does all the vocals. Is Amanda? Any of the stuff that you've heard, it's her doing the tracks. She was more known for being sort of backing vocals for the earlier stuff. And as we were sort of recording with other people, had a few people actually says, who is it that's doing your backing vocals? How come she's not more out the front?
Very good. Yeah.
You know, so and we says, listen, this song that just dropped, this was recorded nearly a year ago. I mean, that's just getting round to that being released.
Fantastic.
But it was her time to shine on it, you know. It's just she's been getting more and more involved with the stuff, and finally the song got released.
Brilliant, fantastic. So Jamie, thanks,
Hi,
Dave. Jamie, how you doing, buddy? You alright? You got all your technicals sorted out now?
Took ages to download the Chrome. My Mac hates it.
That's my mistake because what it was, I was rushing around on Saturday morning. I forget who to actually email to ask to bring on the stream. So I do apologise, not giving you enough time. But
I'm here now.
Installed. If you come on later ones, it's all set up now, so no problem. Sure. So, mate, did you watch the presentation? Yeah. Just give us your thoughts on that, and then what you've been doing differently this year than what you were doing last year, if you don't mind.
So this year, I've been engaging much more. I mean, I was engaging quite a lot last year, But this, I think I was doing more likes and stuff like that, and now I am actually talking to people. And I tried that video thing that you said on last week's.
Yeah,
that really worked. I need to do that more. I've only done a few.
okay.
And obviously released a song yesterday, and I've been
Congratulations.
thank you, more prepared this time, and it's just gone a bit crazy, a bit overwhelmed, to be
So
honest.
when you say, if you don't mind me interrupting, when you say more prepared, what have you done? How have you been more prepared this time than you were last time?
I'm usually really prepared with radio stations, that kind of side of it, and media, but less so with the social thing. I put a post, but I didn't really know what I was doing, tailored to how you've been and other people have been suggesting. Sure. So just listening really and watching how other people do it and just picking it up and thinking, oh, that's what they mean. Oh, that's how it works,
So have you got your own little checklist that I mentioned in the video at all? Have you got your own one of those, or?
I kind of did have, but only up here. So yeah, I've been going through yours. Okay. I've actually, quite a lot of Boy George fans have been tapping into me because I'm a massive Boy George fan, and he sort of engages with me a little bit. So I've been befriending them, and they've been going on my YouTube and watching my videos and stuff like that. So I've tapped into something there, which is quite cool.
Cool. And I haven't mentioned YouTube a lot, actually. Again, I think I've done a couple of videos in the past, but I haven't really done a strategic one on it. If I can just go through each one of you first, and I'll go with you, Jamie, first. Are you using YouTube as part of your launch process, as actually promoting your music? Are you
this time, absolutely, more so, yeah. I'm really using Twitter and YouTube. And
okay, what, together?
Yeah. That seems to be working for me. More kind of friends, family are on Facebook, Instagram. I haven't really got my head around it fully, although I do get engagement on it. But Twitter and now YouTube, since really coming on board with you and seeing that as more, I never really saw it as a social media thing. I just saw it as a video thing. I always forget to chat, really. And just by you saying like it's social media, I'm like, oh yeah. And it's amazing how many people don't think, just engage, and it really,
And you know what as well, and obviously I will get to you guys regarding YouTube. The guys that actually leave a comment on your YouTube video are probably one of the highest ones of the people that are actually going to stream and download your music and buy your merchandise, because they've actually gone a step further. They're even though YouTube's a social media channel, the guys that are actually on Twitter and Facebook, they're not the same as the ones that are on YouTube. These guys are actually watching your music video and taking it, because there's a lot of people that watch your video, but they won't leave a comment. Anybody that leaves a comment, you really do need to try to befriend them. So you get them, find out what their social media profiles are like. That's the first thing. And if you've got an email list, really just in the comments, just say, look, guys, if you like my video, if you like my music video, if you like my music, I'm giving away 3 MP3 files or whatever way you want to try and get them onto your list. But these guys here that are commenting on YouTube are gold. So leaving comments, always make sure you reply to comments as well. Not just on social media, but on YouTube specifically. So are you getting a lot of comments on your YouTube videos, Jamie?
I'm starting to, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, only in the last couple of weeks since yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. And what about you, Phil? Are you using YouTube at all?
Sorry. I've got to go.
Yeah, no problem.
Live radio.
That's great. We'll chat on social media, no problem. But thanks for coming. Appreciate that.
All right, cheers, bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a nice weekend. So, yeah, Philip, are you using YouTube at all?
Yeah. For so long, I've been using YouTube. Like, I so much liked YouTube to compare to any other social media. But recently now, I've been using Twitter, so I'm more, into Twitter than YouTube. But the times in the past, I've been using YouTube, and it actually works for me. I got a lot of comments from people, and which I'm really happy about. So because YouTube makes YouTube, there's something you said some of your live interview, you said we should always try as an artist visual, like you have to be visual to your audience. So I guess YouTube is actually the platform where you can actually, showcase your face, let people know who you are, let your fans know they read you. So I think for now, I've been doing much of that these days. Even if I'm not doing exactly, but I'm doing something, like I'm coming up with something. I have a plan. I want to drop a EP album this year. So I was supposed to drop it last year. So, but now I'm doing some kind of visual in regards to the EP album. So once the visual aspect is done, then I can just push it out. So I want a situation whereby I can easily contact with my followers, with my fans. They can see me one-on-one. I can sit down, record a live video, and for them to see. All these tips are actually gotten from your interviews, which are actually good. So I believe YouTube is okay for now. Like for me, I'm getting some comments from fans, which I wasn't getting before, but now I'm trying to get. I'm getting some comments, which I'm really happy about.
Good. So what you want to do as well, Philip, and it's fantastic you're getting the engagement now, is go back into the comments and basically just ask them, what's your handle on social media? Whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, find out what their handle is, follow them on social media, and then try and build your own little separate list, whether it's Twitter list or Instagram close friends. Separate them off into a different list and then really engage with them. So the first thing you do when you get on your phone in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever you get onto your phone, is go into that list. That's the first thing you do, and you engage with those first, and then you can engage with everyone else afterwards. But those guys that actually left you a comment on YouTube are gold. So I'd recommend that you do that. Second tip as well, on YouTube, is have a separate playlist, because you can set up separate playlists on YouTube, and have one where you're just musing. So you're basically just talking about what's going on with your music. So you've got a separate playlist for your music, and then a separate playlist for your musing. So what's going on with your music at the moment. So literally, that's the one where you actually just pick up your phone and you just talk to your fans directly on whatever platform it is. But that'll be my recommendation on YouTube. It's not just a case of just posting music videos. You really do need to, because not being funny, in each one of your genres, and that's whether it's Dusty, whether it's Dave, whether it's Jamie, whether it's you, there are another hundreds of thousands of people that got the same sort of music as you. What you need to do is you need to differentiate yourself from them, and the only way you can do that is by being personal, like we're doing now on video.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
Dave, we'll come to Dusty. What about you, Dave? How have you found YouTube? I know you've actually got your own little podcast going as well, haven't you, where you're doing interviews, so you can maybe talk to us about that.
I love it. It was, when I first started using YouTube, it was just a case of a JPEG image and a song, whack it on YouTube, hope for the best. That doesn't work, but at first it was just somewhere to upload music. That's what I was using it as, and then I soon cottoned on, you've got to have some sort of visual content there. So we started going down the route, trying to make our own music videos, that kind of thing. And then, wow, it was like all of a sudden, it just felt like flicking a switch. People were engaging, people were interested. And the only thing different was you've made an actual video to go with it, rather than just being a bit of artwork. And it's not, you could make a video for every single track. We just not get the resources to do it. But even at that, rather than cropping out, one thing it is very easy to do is a lyric video, which for the last release we done. We just thought, well, you know what, we've got too many restrictions up here with COVID and stuff. So doing a video, it's kind of ruled it out for us this time. But I did say to the guys, I goes, look, we'll do some sort of lyric video, and in that way, it's another platform that's getting onto YouTube. Like you were saying, the sort of podcast, interviewing other artists. Recently interviewed Philip, and wow, the response for that, it was a really short video. I mean, a lot of the videos are averaging 8 to 10 minutes, whereas Philip's video was similar to Lynn's. It was only about 3 minutes long, and the response that got in the first night was phenomenal.
Because you've been using the special YouTube feature as well. You've been doing a premiere, haven't you?
Yeah. It builds up a bit of momentum, so that the people I'm posting to, I know there'll be a lot of kind of crossovers for the artists that I'm talking about, but when they're sharing it as well, this is bringing different eyeballs that, so it goes back to, it's almost like your collaboration theory. It's
Sure.
no
So can I just interrupt there? Because a lot of people that are watching us at the moment probably don't know what I'm talking about or what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When you're actually scheduling, because what it is, you can either upload music or videos or podcasts to YouTube. You can either schedule it or you can premiere it, which is similar to scheduling. Now, when you schedule it, it means that you can promote your video ahead of time, maybe 3 or 4 days ahead of time, but you're basically scheduling it, but it's a premiere. So it allows people on the right-hand side, or if you're on your phone, it's just below, it allows people to either set a reminder for what that premiere, and it also allows them to chat. It also allows them to comment. It also allows them to like the video as well, and that's before it's even come out.
Yeah.
So what Dave's doing, what Nani's doing at the moment is brilliant, because it means you're able to build up so much momentum before the premiere that you can actually engage with them before it actually comes out. Then on the day of the premiere or the time when the premiere comes out, again, I know you do it, Dave, you jump in and you can start talking to your fans and a lot of your peers on there as well, just to drive more engagement. And again, these are good signals for YouTube as well when you do that.
Yeah, it's worked fantastic. And I mean, when the videos go live, there's probably only about 10 people at a time tuned in. But then I log back into it an hour later and it's like, well, there's 60 people watched this already. You know, and it's like, and then check it the next day and it's like, that's over 100 views in less than 24 hours, which, you know, it's only a short interview. It's, you know, two people talking away about somebody's music career. But the response has been great. It's been really good. And then everybody that's interviewed, so like all their social media, their Spotify links, Twitter, all their contact details is there with the video. So if somebody does like the artist and likes what they do and they're sharing the content, everything's there for them. If they want to then go onto their Facebook page or whatever they want to engage with, it's there. And the good thing is, once it's uploaded, it's there until you delete it. You know, it's brilliant.
Fantastic. And what about you, Dusty? How are you using YouTube, and are you using it different to how you used it before?
Yeah, the big thing for me is I started uploading teasers, like a 15 or 30-second clip, and putting that in as my featured video when people go to my channel. Fantastic. And then on my smart link, when people click into Feature FM or whatever smart link you're using, you can have that preview there. You can actually link that YouTube video to the preview of that smart link, and people can click that, and that actually counts for a view on YouTube, and it notifies them to subscribe to your channel too. Fantastic. So I've noticed that I've been picking up subscribers that way, slowly but surely. YouTube has been a slow build for me, but like now that it's built, I'm over 500 subscribers now. I do feel like when I put a new video out, there's a lot more traction with YouTube than I had before. Okay. I'm toying with the idea of starting to live stream my podcast on YouTube. I've just been doing Twitch, but I'm not super pleased with the results. Just going to Twitch. I'm pleased with the fact that I'm able to earn income by streaming there, but it's hard for people to jump platforms. So what I've done is in my Facebook group, actually, I'm going to make it exclusively streaming live to my Facebook group and on Twitch. So so make that a perk for people. If they join my group, they can have access to the live streams on Facebook.
Fantastic.
And I announced that on a live stream this week in that group, and people seem to be digging that idea. So
just going away from YouTube just for a minute. What is interesting is Facebook, because in the presentation I gave earlier, I mentioned about taking people away a little bit from social media and having your own little group, whether it's Facebook, Discord, or email. And what's interesting is you've actually set up your own Facebook group as well. So that's how you've been managing to getting people onto your Facebook group. How have you done that?
So basically what I did is I made the group. And my podcast is called DG and Friends. And I kind of want to make DG and Friends like this thing where it's me and all my friends that are artists and promotion. And I just want, I like to bring those people on the podcast and showcase those people and kind of get everyone's word out. So I just I'm just going to make a Facebook group because I heard it works well. And so I created the DG and Friends Facebook group. Okay. I shared it on my personal Facebook. I said, hey guys, if you're interested in supporting the music and you want to see more of my content, join this group. If you're not interested in it, and I just said, if you're not interested in seeing a bunch of link, I'm going to be promoting heavily in here. If you're not interested in it, don't join. I understand. I would rather have it be a small organic build of people that are going to interact in the community than 2,000 people who just aren't going to give a shit about it, you know? Yeah. So that's how I've started building it. And then I've done weird things like, hey guys, I got a weird challenge for you. Invite one person that you think would be good for this group.
Love that.
And everyone invites, because it's so easy to invite one person. Click a button, invite one person. And if you've got 200 people and everybody invites one person, all of a sudden you've got 300 people in your group.
Absolutely.
And every week I do like little contests. I do exclusive live streams in there. I'm going to do an exclusive live stream performance in that group. I've been having one-on-one video chats with people from the group and stuff. And like, it's just been a really awesome way to engage and just build and grow and network. So yeah, it's been working well.
Fantastic. And I spoke to Dave and Phil about collaborations. Have you done any in the past, and have you got any set up for the future?
I did a metal collaboration. I did one version of one of my songs. You know, it was just an acoustic song, but I did a metal version of that in the past. But I didn't have a ton of time to put into it. But I'm a metal guy at heart, so I'm itching to play some metal. So I've got a couple friends that I'm considering getting to co-write a really heavy track with me. I just want to put it out under my Dusty Grant project, but I want to, you know, because I'm an acoustic artist, I'd love to come out with something just really brutally heavy and just surprise everybody. So that I think that's something that I'm going to do in the near future. I feel like I need to stretch out my metal legs a little bit.
No problem at all. No. So guys, look, at the moment we're kind of reaching the hour mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. That's my personal chat. Let me just get away from that. So we'll quickly just go to Dusty. If you can just let us know what you've got out at the moment, and then we'll just go through each one of you one by one. So yeah, you've got a track out at the moment, Dusty.
Yep, it's came out on the 29th, so it's been out just about a week now. It's been doing pretty well. Got entered on the Cool Top 20 there today. So yeah, I'm excited about it. It's been kind of a slow burn, but it's been going well so far.
Fantastic, cool. And that came out, was it a couple of weeks ago? No, yep. Last week, wasn't it?
Yep, last Friday.
Last Friday, okay. And obviously you've got a lot of engagement there as well, which is fantastic. A lot of people, you got on some of these playlists as well from the looks of it. And yeah, a lot of people sharing it.
Yeah, it's been going really well. It's been going just going awesome. The Twitter family has been huge this time. It's been a nice new addition to the family, you know, you have to have these like promotion networks of friends and other artists and stuff to help each other push. And the Twitter family's been awesome.
Sure. And I see that none of you you force your way in them.
Of course, man.
I can see that you guys are cross promoting, which is fantastic. So Dusty, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. And good luck with it anyway. Hopefully it's gone well.
It's going well so far. I set a really high streaming goal for myself just to see if I could hit it, and I came up a little bit short, but I got closer than I thought I would, honestly. So I'm happy. I mean, so far so good. The result, everybody seems to like the song. So
fantastic. Dave, you've got a new track out at the moment.
Yep, Big Ina just dropped yesterday.
Okay.
And it's been really good. We've done a lot of promotion. We've done slightly different this time. Was really getting it out to a lot of sort of radio stations and stuff. Pre-release, and there's a few that have hung off and says we'll wait till it drops. It's just the way they operate. But the response from the stations has been brilliant.
Dave, quick question for you: your fan base, predominantly where are they based? Are they based in the UK?
No. It's all over. The majority are, but it's kind of strange. Quite a lot in the States. I don't know so much with the streaming side, but from the sales side, it tends to be there's quite a few overseas.
I'm only saying that is because what you've done is you've posted this. It always feels like I'm criticizing you, but I'm trying to help you actually in what I'm seeing. You've posted this at 10:24 this morning.
Yeah.
I would personally, going forward for your next stuff, especially when it comes to video content, MP4 files, I would probably post this in the afternoon. You'll get so much more engagement because there's not many people that are up at 10:24, or not up, but they're not actually on social media.
This was basically before I went out this morning, because I realised when I was in my profile this morning there was no MP4.
Right, okay.
It was just a JPEG, and I thought, no, I need to change that. So
yeah.
It's literally 5 minutes before walking the dog.
Totally. What I would do then, mate, going forward, and thanks for retweeting that as well, I appreciate that, is maybe now, because obviously Dusty will know this, a lot of the Americans are actually getting up now, so you've got a big American base.
Yeah.
Tweeting in the afternoon or posting content on Instagram in the afternoon is fantastic, but at 10:24 you're not going to get a lot of engagement, and because you're not going to get a lot of engagement, what Twitter does and what most of the social media platforms do, they look to see what goes on, I don't know, within the first few hours of after you've posted or tweeted, and if it doesn't see much engagement interaction, it just doesn't show it to many people. So I would actually recommend do another tweet like this now or in the next hour or so. Change it up a little bit, put a little bit more description of the track, and then pin it again to because this one here, there's no reason why you can't retweet it, but you'll get a lot more traction if you post another one now, I would say.
Definitely.
But posting at the right time is so important. In the morning, in the UK, you don't get that much engagement because most of the US are up. So that's why I was asking you why.
No, it's funny because if you get back a page, you'll see it further down. It's just like in a billboard tweet.
Right.
And billboard tweet linking to Bandcamp, and I just thought I better change that. I had everything yesterday pointing to Bandcamp basically.
I'm with you.
A Bandcamp Friday and launch day.
And I don't know if a lot of people knew this as well. On desktop, you see this little image here. This image that you see here. This is a YouTube link, obviously, but this shows on desktop, but it doesn't show on mobile.
Yeah.
So what I generally do, if I go back to mine now, is, and I think Dusty, you do the same. I think actually you do it as well. I think you all do it. But what you can do, guys, is because that little thumbnail doesn't show, I would personally upload a new thumbnail if you're going to actually link to YouTube. So at least when people are scrolling on their phone, they actually physically see this image. All right. Yeah. But if you just share a YouTube link on Twitter, for example, it won't show the thumbnail if somebody's viewing it on mobile. It only show the link. And if it only shows the link, you're not going to get much engagement on it. All right. So that's why whenever you see me posted, most of the time it's got basically a separate image up on there. So that's basically what I do.
I've had way better results doing that. I didn't know that until I think I was watching one of these streams and I was like, oh, you can't see that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just little stuff like that you don't know, and then someone tells you and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely, exactly. So yeah, hopefully everybody's finding this helpful anyway. So mate, Nunny, I hope it goes well for you, and the girl on the vocals, absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed that.
Just a quick one while I'm on.
Sure.
Jack was on. I don't know if he's still online. He was on earlier, but just to wish him good luck. He's been in touch. He's got a new track, and
who's that? Sorry,
Jap Stamina. He was on the comments earlier.
Yeah.
It's just to wish him all the best. He's been in touch about his track, and
this chap you're on about, aren't you? Jap Stamina.
Aye. So all the best to him. I think it's the track is in memory of his father. So big up to him for doing it. Good luck.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot for that. So yeah, you've done that. And then Phil, obviously you haven't got anything out at the moment. Let me just quickly go to your account, but you've got a few bits lined up as well, haven't you?
Yep.
So this is your latest release song. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that quickly?
Yeah, I think I released this song last year, October, to be precise. So I decided to do a lyrics video of it. I think I dropped that last week or week about. Okay. So that's the music video lyrics. Okay. It's just a lyrics video anyways.
Okay. Going forward, let's have a look what we got. Okay. I don't want to criticize this too much, actually. It's actually okay. What I will say is, for social media, just having a video up there with text won't get as much engagement as if there's something actually happening on the actual video. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You've got decent engagement in it, but even if you're on there, if you, I don't know what software you're using, but if you can kind of change the actual perspective of you rapping maybe, or you singing, or doing whatever you're doing, and then mix it with this text here, you'll get a lot more engagement with that post and with that tweet. But when you just post a video that's just got text like that, you don't get as much engagement.
All right.
So hopefully it's not too harsh a criticism, but honestly, if you've got something happening, even if it's just an image of somebody and you're basically making it move or do something, you'll get a lot more engagement on social media. Because what happens is when people are scrolling through the phone, if they've just seen text like that, they probably won't stop. They're not interested. But when they see a face, a real person, they're more inclined to actually, you know, stop, click on the tweet, and probably have a listen.
Okay.
So yeah. And then what I would do as well, mate, you basically have got a Bandcamp link here, and then you've got your email. What I would do is I wouldn't have two links there. Have this and maybe another tweet with a link to your email. So what you want to do is when somebody comes to social media and they come to your tweet, you want them to do one thing. It's virtually impossible for them to do two things. So if you want them to watch this YouTube video, just have a YouTube link there.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you want to promote your email list, which I really, really do encourage, then obviously you can have your email one there. Yeah?
All right. Okay.
And what have you got coming up? Of course, you haven't got a track out at the moment, but have you got anything in the works at all, or are you doing any collaborations?
Yeah, presently I'm doing a collaboration with Lioness, and it will be out probably ending of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and you're going to do a nice little launch process like Dusty and Dave as well?
Definitely.
Okay, brilliant. Well, mate, if you need any help, give us a shout, send us a DM, or hit us up in the actual Facebook group. So, Phil, thank you so much. Dusty, guys, I don't know if you want to say goodbye. And where can we find Phil? Where can we find you? Also, we can find you on Twitter. Just want to give us your handles as well on the other social media.
All right. On Twitter, Erwan GMA at Erwan GMA on Twitter.
Okay.
And on Instagram, just Erwan, ERYWON.
Okay, brilliant.
So and on Facebook, you can easily search for Philip Erwan or Erwan on Facebook, and likewise on the YouTube.
Fantastic, great. And Dave, what about yourself? Just give us your handles as well, please, mate.
Twitter, it's just Nunny B1. Facebook and Instagram, you'll find me, David Nunny Boy None. Just put that in a search, it will come up. Or Google Valdo, it will come up.
Fantastic. And then Dusty, what about yourself, mate?
You can find me everywhere at Dusty Grant 57, and then my website's a good resource. It's dustygrant.com.
Nice and easy. Brilliant. Yep. So guys, thank you so much for coming this live stream. We've been on there for about an hour now, so I think we'll cut it now. And I suppose you guys have got things to do, your families and stuff. So I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. And well, if we're on the live stream next week, hopefully see you on there as well.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. So I'm going to put myself on the screen. So guys, thank you. That's it. So my name's Des from the Music Marketing Academy. If you're looking to market either you, your band, or your brand in this fast-growing music industry, then this is definitely the right place. We live stream every Saturday without fail. So we promote what we're going to do for that live stream on social media. So if it's anything of interest, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you'll be the first to know as soon as we've got anything coming out. But guys, have a nice weekend, and yeah, we'll see you on the next live stream. Thanks a lot.